Here is Seneca's second letter, on discursiveness in reading, from his work Moral Letters to Lucilius, with commentary. If you like it, please consider liking and subscribing. And now, let's get to it. Based on what you've written and what I've heard, I'm forming a positive view of your future. You're not constantly running from place to place or distracting yourself by moving around. Such restlessness is a sign of a troubled mind. In my opinion, a clear sign of a well-ordered mind is the ability to stay in one place and enjoy your own company. Be careful, though, that reading too many different authors and books doesn't make you scatterbrained and unfocused. You need to stick with a few great thinkers and really absorb their work if you want ideas that will take root in your mind. Trying to be everywhere means you end up nowhere. Just like someone who travels all the time ends up with lots of acquaintances, but no real friends, the same thing happens when you rush through different authors without really engaging deeply with any of them. Food doesn't nourish you if it passes right through your body as soon as it's eaten. Switching medicines too often prevents healing, and a wound won't close if you keep changing treatments. A plant that's frequently moved can never grow strong. Nothing can help you if it's constantly being switched around, and reading too many books is a distraction. Therefore, since you can't possibly read all the books you own, it's better to only have as many books as you can actually read. You might say, but I want to dip into different books and sample each one. I'd say that's like having a picky appetite, tasting lots of different dishes without actually getting any nourishment. When there's too much variety, it leaves you unsatisfied. So, always read the classics, and if you need a change, go back to something you've read before. Every day, take in something that strengthens you against poverty, death, and other challenges. After going through various thoughts, pick one that you can focus on and truly digest for the day. This is what I do myself. From everything I read, I take one idea for myself to reflect on. Today's thought comes from Epicurus. I'm known to venture into the enemy's camp now and then, not as a traitor, but as a scout. He says, being content in poverty is a noble state. In fact, if you're content, it's not poverty at all. It's not the person who has too little who is poor, but the one who always wants more. What does it matter how much wealth someone has in the bank, how large their flocks are, or how big their profits are, if they're always coveting their neighbor's property and thinking more about future gains than what they already have? Do you want to know the right amount of wealth? It's having what you need and having enough. Farewell. And that was Seneca's second letter, on discursiveness in reading. This letter offers advice on how to approach learning and life with focus and depth. He begins by praising Lucilius for not constantly moving from place to place, symbolizing inner stability. This restlessness, Seneca argues, reflects a disordered mind, while the ability to remain in one place and be comfortable with oneself shows a well-ordered and content spirit, a central Stoic idea. Seneca then warns against reading too widely without absorbing what is read. He uses metaphors, comparing a scattered approach to a traveler who gains many acquaintances but no real friends, or food that passes through the body without nourishing it. He emphasizes that depth, not quantity, is key to real understanding. This symbolizes the Stoic belief that focus and consistency are necessary for intellectual and personal growth. The metaphor of tasting many dishes without getting nourishment reflects a lack of self-discipline, highlighting the importance of truly digesting one idea or book rather than skimming many. He advises sticking with key authors and revisiting their works, reinforcing the Stoic practice of reflection and mastery over surface-level engagement. Seneca's inclusion of a quote from Epicurus, despite their philosophical differences, shows his openness to wisdom from all sources. He highlights Epicurus's statement that contented poverty is a noble state, aligning it with Stoic values. For Seneca, true wealth comes from contentment, not possessions, and poverty only exists when there is a constant craving for more. This idea fits perfectly with Stoic teachings on self-sufficiency and finding peace within oneself. That's it for this time. The third letter will be ready next Saturday. Until then, you can check out my other videos, like the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu or Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. See you in the next video, friends.